Mama June. Not hot, not cool. June Shannon arrested. Mother ends up in prison. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Mama June. From uncool to iconic star regarding her legal troubles, June Shannon missiled her children. They're all shocked when Mama ends up in jail in the would-be reality spin-off soon after. Mama June. June Shannon hiding the truth, from not to hot. Mama June. From unknown to iconic, June Shannon made the decision to hide something important from her kids. As viewers will remember, Mama assured her daughters Alana, Honey Boo Boo Thompson, and Lauren Pumpkin Shannon that she would not go to jail. Mama also told them that she and Gino Doak had an excellent attorney. When their lawyer actually seems to be an untrustworthy individual, fans are aware that Mama might spend 2 years in prison. Additionally, Gino might spend 10 years in prison. Mama is ignoring the grave circumstances they find themselves in. Mama now understands that withholding the entire tale from Alana and Pumpkin was a mistake. New spoilers ahead, but her falsehoods could still land her in hot water with her girls. Mama's lie returns to hurt her. Spoilers for Mama June. From not to hot reveal that Joanne Doe Shannon is aware of Mama's true legal issues. She also told Pumpkin recently. Pumpkin and Alana are now angry and dissatisfied. But Alana and Mama recently had a heart-to-heart. Mama agrees that Alana wants her to be honest with her going forward. Although things appear to be going well, Mama's court drama is still very much in the air. Everyone on Mama June. Road to Redemption soon receives a bombshell. Mama June. The path to salvation. More upcoming upheaval. Spoilers for Mama June. From not to hot, the drama is not finished, even if Mama is starting over with the family. Things take a turn for the worst when Mama and Gino soon head to tiny Ella Grace Eford's 3rd birthday. Along with him is Mike Sugar Bear Thompson's wife, Jennifer Lamb Thompson. And Mama and Jennifer's conflict gets worse. Mama eventually finds herself in a holding cell and handcuffed. It appears that rather than getting better, her troubles are just going to get worse. Furthermore, her daughters might not be able to manage it. This Friday, don't miss Mama June. Road to Redemption on WEEF to find out what happens to June Shannon and her family moving forward. June Shannon, better known as Mama June, had been through a whirlwind of ups and downs. After her dramatic weight loss journey and battles with addiction, she was determined to rebuild her life and family. With her daughters Alana Honey Boo Boo Thompson and Lauren Pumpkin Shannon by her side, June was ready to prove that she could rise above her troubled past. The new season of Mama June. From not to hot began with June making significant strides in her recovery. She was attending her meetings regularly, focusing on her health, and reconnecting with her family. The Shannon Thompson household was finally beginning to feel like a home again. However, beneath the surface, old demons lingered. June's past was not easy to escape, and the pressures of maintaining her sobriety in the public eye took a toll. Despite her best efforts, the allure of her former lifestyle remained a constant temptation. One evening, after a particularly stressful day, June received a call from an old friend, Gina. Gina had been a part of June's life during her darkest times, and although they had lost touch, the bond between them was strong. Gina invited June to a small gathering, promising a chance to unwind and catch up. June hesitated but ultimately agreed. She convinced herself that she could handle it, that she was strong enough to face her past without falling back into old habits. Little did she know that this decision would set off a chain of events that would lead her to the lowest point of her life. The gathering was held at a familiar spot, a small, dimly lit bar on the outskirts of town. As June walked in, memories flooded back. She saw faces from her past, people who had been part of her life before her transformation. Gina greeted her with a warm hug, and for a moment, June felt a sense of belonging. The evening started innocently enough. They shared stories, laughed, and reminisced about the old days. But as the night wore on, the atmosphere changed. Drinks were poured, and the conversations turned darker. Gina and the others began to indulge in substances that June had sworn off. June felt a pang of anxiety. She knew she should leave, but the pull of her past was strong. She took a deep breath and reminded herself of her progress. I can handle this, she thought. I'm not that person anymore. But the temptation was overwhelming. One drink turned into two, and soon, June found herself slipping back into old patterns. The guilt and shame she had worked so hard to overcome began to resurface, and she felt herself spiraling out of control. As the night wore on, Gina handed June a small bag of drugs. Just one hit, she said. It'll help you relax. June stared at the bag, her mind racing. She knew the consequences, knew how far she had come. But in that moment of weakness, she gave in. The familiar rush filled her veins, and for a brief moment, she felt a twisted sense of relief. The days that followed were a blur. June tried to hide her relapse from her family, but the signs were evident. She became irritable, withdrawn, and her appearance began to deteriorate. Alan and Pumpkin noticed the changes and grew increasingly worried. "Mama, what's going on?" Pumpkin asked one afternoon. "You've been acting strange lately." June forced a smile. "I'm just stressed, Pumpkin. I'm fine, really." But Pumpkin wasn't convinced. She knew her mother too well and could see through the facade. She decided to keep a closer eye on June, hoping to find out what was really going on. Meanwhile, June's behavior became more erratic. She started missing her meetings and distancing herself from her support network. The pressure of keeping her relapse a secret weighed heavily on her, and she found herself sinking deeper into her addiction. One evening, as June sat alone in her room, the reality of her situation hit her hard. She had worked so hard to rebuild her life, to earn back the trust of her family and fans, and now she was on the verge of losing everything. Tears streamed down her face as she realized the gravity of her actions. She knew she needed help, but the fear of admitting her relapse kept her paralyzed. She felt trapped in a cycle of shame and guilt, unable to see a way out. Pumpkin decided it was time to take action. She gathered the family together for an intervention, hoping to reach June before it was too late. They sat in the living room, waiting for June to come home. When June walked through the door, she was met with the concerned faces of her loved ones. Alana, Pumpkin, Jessica, and even her ex-husband, Mike Sugar Bear Thompson, were there. The room was filled with an uneasy silence. "Mama, we need to talk," Pumpkin said gently. "We're worried about you." June's heart sank. She knew this moment was inevitable, but she wasn't prepared to face it. "I'm fine," she insisted. "There's nothing to worry about." Alana stepped forward, her eyes filled with tears. "Mama, we love you. We just wanted help." June looked around the room, seeing the concern and love in their eyes. The walls she had built around herself began to crumble. She took a deep breath and finally admitted the truth. "I've relapsed," she said, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry." The room was filled with a mix of relief and sadness. They had feared the worst, but hearing June admit her struggle was the first step towards healing. Pumpkin wrapped her arms around her mother. "It's okay, Mama. We'll get through this together." The family rallied around June, offering their support and love. They helped her find a rehab facility, and June agreed to enter treatment. She knew it wouldn't be easy, but with her family by her side, she felt a glimmer of hope. While June was in rehab, the past she had tried to escape caught up with her. The authorities had been investigating a drug ring connected to Gina and her associates. June's relapse had inadvertently put her in the middle of their investigation. One morning, as June was attending a group therapy session, the police arrived at the rehab facility. They had a warrant for her arrest, linking her to the drug ring. The news was a shock to June and her family. June was taken into custody, her heart heavy with regret. She knew she had made mistakes, but the thought of going to jail terrified her. As she sat in the holding cell, she couldn't help but think about her daughters. She had let them down once again. The news of June's arrest spread quickly. The media frenzy was relentless, and the family found themselves under intense scrutiny. Alana and Pumpkin struggled to keep their lives together while dealing with the fallout. In jail, June had plenty of time to reflect on her choices. She realized that she needed to take responsibility for her actions and make amends. She vowed to use this experience as a turning point, to find the strength to overcome her addiction once and for all. The trial was a media spectacle, with cameras capturing every moment. June's past was laid bare for the world to see, and the prosecution painted a damning picture of her involvement with the drug ring. Despite her efforts to turn her life around, the evidence was stacked against her. June's defense attorney argued that she was a victim of circumstance, a woman who had struggled with addiction and made poor choices. They highlighted her efforts to seek help and rebuild her life, hoping to sway the jury's sympathy.